One of the first ways we can identify narcissists in our life is through their own words. Narcissists manipulate us with communication. Some of the things that narcissists say will cause us to start to sort of lose ourselves. So, if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist of any sort, whether it's a work thing or a spouse thing, a boyfriend-girlfriend thing, a parent thing, there are certain common things you see. You notice they might act like they're always a little better than you, or they might always be insulting, they might be demeaning, they might need more attention than you can stand to give them. Maybe they won't give you any attention, or they definitely don't reciprocate any of your efforts. Maybe they cheat on you, or they regularly lose interest in you, and they require you to change yourself to be part of their deal. That's if you're in a romantic relationship. But even if you're in a friend relationship or a co-worker type of relationship, similar things can happen. In many cases, they humiliate you in public, and they do this for the purpose of making themselves look better. They might be all about impressing other people, making false promises, or even taking credit for things you've done or other people have done. Narcissists are pretty identifiable once you get your finger on the pulse of what they're all about. But what about the words they use? I'm going to share with you 4 different types of sort of red flag words or phrases that narcissists will use in order to manipulate you and make you do what they want when they want. Number 1, seduction. Not just the word seduction, but the act of seduction through words. So this happens during the love bombing phase a lot. And narcissists will say things like, "Oh my gosh, you're the most amazing person I ever met." Or, "I have never met someone as wonderful as you. I just love you. You are so much better than my ex. You're the center of my world. I will give you everything. I will give you everything and more. I would give you the shirt off my back if you needed it. I will treat you better than anyone has ever treated you before. No one can love you like I love you. Your ex is a serious loser. I'm the better choice, obviously. I'm going to be really, really rich someday. I'm going to be really famous someday. I've got these amazing ideas, and I'm going to tell you my secret plan for success or for taking over the world or whatever." Now, one thing you might notice about a lot of these phrases is that they're all about comparing you or themselves with someone else. So that little red flag there is that you will be compared in the future if you're with a narcissist or a toxic person. Number 2 is kind of the hate words, the bad, negative words. Words like loser, phrases like not good enough. For example, "Let me tell you about this loser I went to school with," or "That person right there, big nerd, let me tell you all about him." Or, "These people I work with are so stupid." Or, "I am getting screwed over at work. My boss is being unfair. I'm pretty sure the whole world's against me. My boss is just mad at me because I'm so much smarter than he is or she is. I can't wait to see that person go through the humiliation they deserve." Things like that. A couple of red flags here. You obviously see the superiority coming through when they're so much better than their boss, etc. And how excited they get when they think about someone else's humiliation and pain. 2 big red flags for narcissists. And then of course there's number 3, the lacking empathy phrasing and words. You tell them a story, and you tell them maybe the worst story, the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life. Let's say you got run over a car 16 times and both of your legs were broken and every bone in your body and whatever. Something terrible. You tell them a story and they go, "Oh yeah, well you think that's bad. Let me tell you what happened to me." Not only do they gloss over that horrible thing that you went through, but they also turn the subject right back around to themselves. So there's no empathy, and of course there's the whole look at me factor. And as we all know, narcissists tend to lose interest in everything we say, think, do, feel, or are once they know they've got their claws deeply in our souls. Then you've got the victim narcissist. This is number 4, the victims. Victim words, victim phrasing. You've got some people who are always having a crisis. Everything's wrong, poor me. You might text them and say, "How you feeling?" And they'll be like, "Oh, it's terrible. The whole world's against me. My whole life is over." Ever know anyone like that? These are the types of people who live in perpetual narcissistic injury state. The people who are always focused on everything that's going wrong. You see them on Facebook. They're always talking about things that are messed up in their lives or other people's lives. Maybe somebody else got the job they always wanted. Maybe they become obsessed with taking on other people's tragedies if they don't have enough of their own drama. If someone has done something to injure them on a narcissistic level, they will want revenge. They will want to prove that person wrong. They will want everyone to feel bad for them and not like that other person. They might feel like they're being punished for something they did if they don't get the recognition they deserve. In any case, they live in this perpetual state of narcissistic injury where they're constantly worried worried about everything terrible and talking about everything terrible that's happening. This is a red flag, what I think, for obvious reasons, but if not, I'll tell you, it's a red flag because anyone who lives in a perpetual state of narcissistic injury has no desire to have a better life. They want that pain. They want to get attention and sympathy for that pain. And it's really difficult for the people around them to consistently listen to the negativity. And I'm not talking about someone who's actually in a toxic relationship or someone who's actually dealing with tragedy. I'm talking about someone who really isn't and who constantly seeks attention anyway. Just like we said in the last one, oh, you think that's bad? Wait till you hear what happened to me. But more than anything, I think what really counts here is this person's effect on you. How do they make you feel? If they make you feel great every time you're around them, well, then you probably don't have a problem. If they make you feel stupid, inadequate, not good enough, miserable, whatever, that person isn't for you. That person doesn't deserve your time and your attention. Don't let them be part of your inner circle. If you sometimes feel like that person's too good to be true and like you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, watch closely. That can also be a red flag, so be very careful. They might be love bombing you if it's a new person in your life. If you feel like you can't breathe or like you can't get a word in edgewise or you feel constantly overwhelmed by them, like you can't function around them normally and the idea of them even kind of shortens your breath a little bit. If you feel like they're sucking all the air out of a room or you feel like they're sucking all the energy out of your body, you feel constantly tired, red flag, red flag, red flag. Be aware. So we're going to talk about different things that narcissists say and what they really mean. You're my person. I'll always be there for you. If the narcissist is not a parent or a family member, the love bombing and idealization phase will be the stuff of legends and rom-coms alike. Believe it or not, one of the biggest ways non-family narcissists get you to self-isolate is by promising you that they'll always be there for you and that they'll always have your back. It is often the first thing they will audibly say to you that will lead to this unfortunate situation. Why? Because a lot of people who end up in relationships with narcissists were also raised by toxic people and or suffered trauma during childhood. Well, that led to them feeling alone in the world. Without realizing it, this leads us to almost desperately seek someone who is willing to be our person, as in someone for whom we are the most important person in the world, in their lives at least, and whether or not this person is toxic, because of our own issues developed in childhood, we are at tremendous risk of becoming codependent. This means that we grew up in such a way that we didn't feel loved and supported, and we're so happy and surprised that someone wants to be our person finally that we allow ourselves to be seduced and hooked by the idea of it. That's not what I meant. I'm sorry that's how you feel. Translation, I'm pretending that I don't care or that I'm sorry by using words to manipulate you and invalidate you ever so subtly. I'll always be there for you. You can totally trust me. What that really means is I think in this moment that I'm totally into you, so I really think I'm actually going to be here. But in reality, as soon as I'm bored with you, I'm moving on. Or if I don't move on and you keep believing that you can trust me, then I can keep using you to get what I want. And as a matter of fact, it also makes me feel super good about myself when I say I can be trusted. I don't understand. What you're saying makes absolutely no sense. I don't know what you're talking about. Translation, I'm pretending that I can't understand you so that I don't have to respond to you in a logical fashion.
You're so paranoid. You read too much into everything. You're just upsetting yourself for no reason. Stop being so stupid.
What that really means is that you are too close to figuring out the narcissist. They don't like that. Oh my God, see, this is why we can't talk. You're always yelling at me. Don't you see that you're the real problem here? Everyone says so. What that really means, I've twisted your thoughts and your words and your feelings until you got frustrated and yelled at me. That was my goal this whole time. And now my feelings are hurt because you expect me to take responsibility for my own behavior. This really is all your fault, and everyone knows it because I tell them all the time. I love the smear campaigns. Listen, I know what you think, but we just need to be on the same page here, okay? What that really means is, look, I really don't care what you think, but I'm going to pretend like I do for this moment because I just need you to think whatever it is that I think you should think. I didn't hurt you. You hurt yourself. Well, maybe you deserved it. Translation, I so lack empathy for you that I literally believe that your effort to stand up for yourself or whatever caused my narcissistic injury in this moment forced me to abuse you in some way. I think you deserved it because you didn't do what I wanted you to do, and if you try to fight me on this one, you're in big trouble. Hey baby, we got this. We are so gonna win this game.
I'm not so sure about that. After all, you are my partner.
Come on, honey. It's going to be okay. Don't be nervous.
You are so stupid. Your brain is like this big.
Gah! Why do you always have to be so negative?
You are so mean.
Mean? Why would you say that?
Obviously, you cannot be sure we have truly got this. You are setting me up for a big disappointment, as usual.
Wait, what? How did I get in trouble here? I just said we can win this game.
God, you are always mad, aren't you? You suck. I just want to leave now. Why do you make everything so miserable?
Wait, what? I mean, what? What is wrong with you?
Girl, I am not the problem here. You are. You are the one always having a problem with me. Dummy, you suck. And you are not good enough.
This person doesn't like me, and you need to choose me or them. Oh yeah, the old me or them thing. The ultimate ultimatum that no one should ever have to deal with. Sadly, is another common thing that narcissists say to make you isolate yourself from your family. Not only do they not want you to be with your friends, but they also don't want you to have anything to do with your family, especially when they might emotionally or otherwise support you. They will manipulate you into believing that your family and your friends don't seem to like them, or they will do something to make sure that's the case. And whether anyone they're pushing away actually said or indicated any issues with the narcissist, well, that won't really matter. The narcissist will literally say whatever they need to say to get your full and undivided attention, at least when and if they want it. Of course, if you don't immediately dump the offending person, the narcissist, without remorse, will pull out the old narcissistic injury card, and they'll tell you how hurt they would be if they were forced to leave you for not dumping this person. Now you're put in a position that leaves you with almost no choice.
You totally took that out of context.
What that really means, I don't want to admit that what I just said means what it really means and what I very clearly and obviously meant. And I'd like you to not trust your judgment and think you're crazy, because that'll help me out later.
And he was all, I'm Tarzan!
Oh my God, you are so funny. Not really.
Oh my God, you're hilarious, Narco. Such a dry sense of humor.
You have stupid hair. Why would any woman cut her hair like that?
Even though your voice sounds so robotic, I totally dig you.
Oh, do you now? Sweet, now I can manipulate you and abuse you for the rest of your life.
Wait, did you say the rest of my life? Oh my God, best day ever. Why are you being so difficult? What it really means is, why are you not doing what I want you to do? You're abusive to me. What that really means is, I feel like you're challenging my sense of superiority here. I really want to guilt you into doing or saying exactly what I want. And that's the only way you're going to get me to stop saying you're abusive. Forget about the fact that I'm abusing you. There is something wrong with the way that you think. You are delusional. Translation, I don't like it when you call me out on my BS. You're a little bit too aware of this stuff. I'm going to need you to go ahead and start doubting yourself and your judgment, and fast.
Guy, I totally feel like I'm walking on eggshells around you all the time.
What that really means? I'm projecting myself onto you because I'm the one who makes you walk onto eggshells, and I like it.
You are way too sensitive, or you are hypervigilant, or you are overly whatever. What that really means is I don't like it when you have feelings. It bothers me. Not only do I not know what to do with them, but I really don't care about them. Your feelings don't matter to me.
I feel like if you really love me, you totally understand me.
It really means if you really loved me, you'd anticipate all of my needs and take care of me like a good mom and or dad, and you would make sure that everything is perfect and that I can do whatever I want without any consequences, and you would never ask me any questions unless I wanted you to. In fact, you would just stay in a closet in a box until I'm ready to play with you again.
I never said that. You heard wrong, or you misunderstood me, or that never happened. Translation, I will change your reality in any given moment. And you better go along with it, or you're in big trouble. Stop attacking me. Why are you always attacking me? Translation, stop holding me accountable for my actions. Why are you always holding me accountable for stuff that I do?
Do you believe in love at first sight?
What that really means? I'm testing you to see if you might be a good future supply.
I've been looking for you for my whole life. I think you're my soulmate.
That really means, looks like you'll be a good source of supply. Let's get together.
I don't like talking about my past. Translation, I have carefully crafted the image that I'm showing you and or the rest of the world in this moment. And if I talk about my past, this image might be proven false. How am I supposed to keep up my false self if I talked about the person I really am or the person I used to be?
You've already told me this. I've heard all this before. Why do you keep repeating yourself? What that really means is, yeah, I know you talked about this before, but I didn't really listen, and I'm also not going to listen right now, so just shut up so I can go and do what I want. Heard that before, right? Yeah.
Everyone else thinks I'm amazing. Why don't you? What that really means is, can't you just pretend like you haven't seen behind my mask?
The person I was with before you was completely crazy. I was abused and mistreated and neglected.
What that really means is I'm conditioning you to do what I want and to want to save me from my horrible, mean exes. In reality, they were perfectly nice people just like you who I took advantage of and sucked dry, and who I'll probably go back to again when I'm done with you.
Why are you so demanding? What that really means is you have too many needs and I don't like that. You're supposed to be just a robot in the closet there for my entertainment and amusement at any given time. I don't like when you need things. And by the way, you're the one who's supposed to attend to my needs, not the other way around.
Your best friend did something awful. I just thought you should know. As you know, narcissists are pathological liars, and at times they are so good at it, they could even pass a lie detector test. That's because they have a very limited ability to empathize on a genuine level, and because they aren't likely to feel remorse. This is especially true when they feel upset and threatened, which they are bound to do when you're close to someone who isn't them. And your friends, especially your best friend, that person could be a serious threat to the narcissist's sense of control. That's why the narcissist will do the unthinkable to push them away. For example, they might make you isolate yourself from your friends by telling you that they're saying not so nice things behind your back. And you might believe them because since they'll focus this little campaign on your shortcomings and insecurities, you know. For instance, if you have a habit of laughing nervously, the narcissist will pick that up and not hesitate to tell you that your friends make fun of how you do that, how you laugh. And you can't help yourself at times, so you would immediately believe what the narcissist says. That's going to make you cut your friends off. Or, and this is the worst if you ask me, they might make up a story about a specific friend. Might be a total lie, but the narcissist would throw in enough facts and so-called evidence that you'll at least doubt the person in question, if not totally fall for the lie. For example, they might say your best friend made an inappropriate move on them in some way. This will follow the narcissist having told you or your friend that they found this friend attractive. And then they might have started little innocent flirtations in front of you and later confided to you that your friend made a comment that turned them on or saw or heard something that otherwise got their attention from that person. Even if you don't believe it at first, it's going to cause you to have little doubts about them in the back of your head, which will in the end cause you to pull away from them. And along with your own mind's ability to connect details and to feel protective of your relationship, this is going to change the way you feel about your friend in the end. And that is going to lead to a moment of desperation in which you cut off contact, either directly or indirectly, and that's exactly what they want. You'll lose touch, and before you know it, you're not even friends anymore. Meanwhile, the narcissist is getting exactly what they want, you isolated and under their full control.
Did you hear the one about the narcissist who drove his car into the tree? Oh yeah, he said it was the tree's fault.
What do you like about me? What it really means is, how can you make me feel good about myself right now? I'm feeling a little low. Can you tell me nice things about myself? I need some supply.
You're so selfish. What that really means is that you're trying to steal my spotlight, and I don't like that. Would you please step aside?
How dare you accuse me of lying? I've always told you the truth, at least part of it. I never lie. Translation, I've always told you what I wanted or needed you to believe in the moment, regardless of whether or not it's actually the truth. Oh, and don't question me on that, because if you do, you know what happens. Big trouble, right? We're on the same page here. Okay. How could you be so mad at that rude comment I made? I mean, it really sucks. You used to think I was funny. What that really means is, how dare you not laugh at jokes that I make at your expense? Don't you know better? You didn't give me the reaction I wanted. That makes this all your fault. Now you're in trouble.
You're always analyzing me. What are you, a psychologist now? Narcissists don't like to be looked at too hard. They don't want anyone to sort of figure out who they are. And so when they're saying you're always analyzing me, stop that. What they really mean is, it really scares me when you say things that hit a little close to home. Don't talk to me about the way you think my psychology works, and don't talk to me about things I can be doing better. In fact, if you're going to talk to me, only say nice things to me about me. Otherwise, you shouldn't talk to me, because I will react with narcissistic rage and narcissistic injury. Poor me.
You keep screwing up. This is outrageous. How many chances do you expect me to give you before I ghost? What that really means is, I want you to do what I say, but you keep doing something else. So I'm going to need to tap into your deepest human fear of the fear of being alone. That way maybe you'll start doing what I want. Why do you keep talking about whatever you're interested in? This is boring. Don't you have anything else to say? Like something interesting? Like, I don't know, me? Translation? I don't care about whatever it is that you're talking about. And even if I really do care about that thing, I'm just going to go ahead and pretend that you're boring and stupid so that you feel invalidated. And by the way, when are we getting back to me? The conversation is supposed to be all about me, right?
I've never been so sure of anything in my whole life, or I have no doubt in my mind, anything like that. What that really means is that, yeah, I'm really good at believing whatever I say in any given moment. I don't care if it's true or not, as long as you agree with me, or as long as it gets me exactly what I'm trying to get, whatever I want. And I've learned over the years that the more sure I am of myself, the more likely it is you're going to let me off the hook. And I don't like it when you question me, because that makes me feel like you don't believe me or you're undermining my efforts.
I really thought you were the last guy or girl I was ever going to be with. This is something else. What that really means is I'm already cheating on you, or at least considering it.
hey, how was your day? What that really means is I'm just going to listen to you for about 30 seconds, maybe a little longer, and then I'm going to start talking about my day. So you might as well just say fine and then wait for me to talk. That's really all we're doing here anyway.
Your family doesn't think much of you, do they? Whether your family is amazing and supportive or painfully toxic, the narcissist does not want them in the way. That's why they will often say things to you about how they notice your family doesn't respect you in any way, shape, or form. Or they'll say your family uses you, or that they just don't care about you at all. They'll have evidence about it. They'll say they've seen this before, and they'll point out little idiosyncrasies that you'll start to hyper-focus on if you're not careful, such as the way your mom's left eye twitches every time you talk about your relationship, or the way your sister rolls her eyes when you talk about your dream of writing the great American novel. And to really put the nail in this coffin, the narcissist will do their very best to exacerbate and exaggerate actual issues that you shared with them over time about different people in your family. They're going to amplify and magnify anything that you shared and actively cultivate your self-doubt and doubt in general, your anger, the feeling of betrayal, all that stuff. This will begin to poke at you over time, and the narcissist will keep pushing it. Maybe even blatantly lying and saying things that aren't true, like I said, or things that have just a whisper of truth to them, just enough, such as pointing out how the family's always talking about you behind your back, and since you probably already know that, like every family talks about everybody behind their backs among themselves, you're going to assume that they're telling the truth. Why wouldn't you? What kind of person would want to intentionally push someone's family away from them? What kind of person would intentionally want to hurt someone that they claim they love? Yeah, that was a little sarcasm, but all joking aside, you will find yourself falling for this stuff, especially during the love bombing or idealization phase. If it happens later, you might even push the family away in order to show the narcissist how loyal you can be to them, or even to get them off your back. But only rarely will you consciously understand what is going on while it's happening, because the narcissist can be so sneaky and subtle in their manipulation.
I can't remember what happened. Translation: I'm perfectly aware of what happened, but I'm hoping that if I pretend I don't remember, you won't remember either. Are you trying to change me? I'm not changing for anyone. Or I changed for my ex and I'm never doing that again. Not changing for you. What that really means is, of course, that they have no intention of being nice or doing anything to shift or grow for you, but also that if you don't allow them to be their special selves, well, they'll just turn around and go find someone who will, at least temporarily.
You're a terrible parent. That really means there are no limits that I will avoid stooping to hurt you. I will do anything and I will say anything regardless of the level of incorrect it is, regardless of how much it'll hurt you. I have no limits.
You really think I did that? I'm shocked you think I would do such a thing. What that really means is, how dare you see through the smoke and mirrors and see me for what and who I really am? Don't you know I'm amazing and perfect? Wait, you know better? Oh, you're crazy. It's all in your head. You need to see a psychologist. Translation: I need you to doubt yourself, your perception, and your reality so I can more effectively manipulate you and make you do what I want. Sound good? Everybody says you're bad, or everybody says you're crazy. What that really means is I am gathering up a whole big bunch of people who don't exist in real life, or I'm lying to you and pretending that everybody talks about you in this way so that you'll lose self-esteem and you'll worry and doubt yourself and think you can't trust anybody, and then you're totally isolated. The narcissist wants to isolate you. That's what it comes down to.
I'm the only one who really loves you, It's us against the world. Yeah, this kind of manipulation might look different in different parts of different relationships. For example, let's say the narcissist in your life is your spouse or partner, and they pulled you in with promises of having someone on your side, or of a soulmate, or whatever your version of that was. But ultimately, you were brought in thinking you were getting your dream person. They're going to pull the old us against the world thing, which will initially feel really good to you because you're going to feel like you belong somewhere and like you're a part of something special, maybe for the first time in your life. Or if the narcissist was your parent or your parental figure, it looked more like, I'm the only person who really loves you, so you better do exactly what I want, or you risk being completely abandoned in the world. Love ya! In either case, it looks like if you don't do what I want you to do, you will be alone. And the narcissist knows instinctively that everyone's secretly afraid on some level of ending up completely alone and unloved in the world, whether we admit it or not. So in order to properly secure you as a source of narcissistic supply, they're going to play on your very human fear of abandonment. And if you do happen to have a touch of codependency, this is going to feel like a life or death decision, which the narcissist will seduce you into making before you even realize what has happened. The bottom line is that narcissists make you self-isolate for control, manipulation, and to secure you as a narcissist narcissistic supply. In the end, just know that without hesitation, without remorse, the narcissist can easily and methodically manipulate you into believing that your friends and your family are no good for you for one reason or another. You will believe the narcissist either because you're head over heels in love with them, or you do it out of fear because you don't want to lose them, or maybe just because that's how it's always been. This is your parent. Either way, once you see the truth that they are abusive and toxic, it's going to be too late because they have managed to, in many cases, make you push everyone out of your life, and then you're alone. This is going to leave you struggling to find the support that you need, and if the narcissist has their way, without access to the help you need to get out of that relationship.
That's in the past. What do you mean? 15 minutes ago is the past. Hey, why can't we just forget the past? Translation? I don't understand why you won't get over the fact that I'm actively abusing you. I mean, the last incident was a whole 15 minutes ago. That's literally in the past, isn't it? How come you're not all happy-go-lucky yet? And why do you keep asking me to be accountable for things that I have actually done?
You just can't handle when things change, can you? What that really means? I can't handle change if it means that I don't get all of the supply that I need, so you better not become anybody else.
You make it impossible to talk to you. What that really means is you just refuse to believe my lies, and I seriously hate that. Hey, thanks again for the ride. I don't know what I've done without you, girl. Anytime, friend. You know I got your back. I swear, I could just whack Narc Boy right now in his stupid face. He set me up again. Oh, wow. What did he do now? He promised he'd be there for me today, but he wasn't. Once again, I stood in front of my house for 3 hours, waiting on him, and now I'm late. He's so much like my father, it's ridiculous. Oh my God, what an ass. Why do you keep putting up with that stuff? I have no idea, I just don't know. I guess I love him. Really? What makes you love him? Can you tell me 5 things you love about him? I mean, seriously? I have been with him forever, and I can't imagine starting over these days. I don't know, my friend. He is so very awful to you. Is he ever really nice anymore? I mean, sometimes. He used to be. Well, let me make this a little easier. When was the last time he was nice to you? Well, there was the time he thought I had left him, and last year when that guy at work asked me out, he always seems more interested if he thinks he can't have me. Oh my God. Right. So, what are you gonna do? Yes, I've got it. I'll pretend I'm going to leave him again and he will love me. Wow.
That isn't what I meant. Or, I didn't say that. What does that mean? Well, it means that during your conversation, they said something that they wish they didn't. So they took it back, or they pretended it was a joke, or they pretended it wasn't that serious. So they're saying, yeah, sure, I said that, but I didn't like the way it came out, and I don't want anyone to know that I said it, so let's pretend it didn't happen. Okay. The thing is, the narcissist is actually able to convince most people that, in fact, they didn't say it, or at least they've been able to do it before because they just are so sure of what they're saying, or at least they seem to be.
So how do you deal with all that? I'm going to share a few really quick and powerful conversation tactics that you can learn to really kind of take them down a notch and stop them in their tracks.
What do you do when they're gaslighting? How do you stop them from manipulating you? How do you disarm a narcissist? Let's talk about it.
We all know that we can't change a narcissist, but what some of us might not know is that we can affect the way they affect us. We can protect ourselves from the inevitable havoc they wreak on our lives. One of the biggest problems that we have as survivors of narcissistic abuse and people who have been involved with narcissists is that we have a huge well of hope in our lives. Well, at least during the relationship. We hope the narcissist will get better. We hope that we can help them. We hope that they will change. But I've never seen it happen. And if your narcissistic person is willing to get into therapy and do all the work, maybe it could happen. But again, never seen it happen. Even when you leave a narcissistic relationship, the after effects can stay with you for years. And that's especially true when you're co-parenting or dealing with a narcissist in business or some other way that you can't go no contact with them for whatever reason. But if you're going to figure out how exactly to disarm a narcissist, to neutralize them, to stop them from constantly manipulating and abusing you, the first thing you have to be is super prepared. And you have to be preloaded, let's say. You have to know ahead of time exactly what you're going to say and what you're going to do when these things come up. So let's talk about it. The first thing you want to do is use the gray rock method. That just means to disengage with the narcissist. Don't let them affect you emotionally in any way, even though that's going to be a little difficult. With practice, you can get there. Remember that you can only control yourself and act from that perspective. Don't pretend to believe a narcissist's lies. Don't take the bait when they try to engage you in an argument or any other sort of drama. Just don't engage with them. The next thing you want to do is make sure you set boundaries, and when the narcissist inevitably steps on on them, make sure you're prepared to stand firmly behind them. Immediately warn the narcissist the moment that they step over that boundary. Explain to them exactly what you're going to do if they continue to cross it. But if you're going to enact any sort of consequence or denial of attention, you must be willing to do so. You can't threaten the narcissist and not follow through, because immediately they will know that that's your MO. It's okay if you've done that in the past. It's pretty common. Don't beat yourself up for it, but it's time to make a change now. So from today on, if you say you're going to do something, then do it, even when it feels uncomfortable. The next thing you need to do is stop apologizing to the narcissist for things you didn't do. And I know it kind of becomes automatic. You know, they scream and yell at you for no reason, and before you even hear what they said, half the time you're going, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry! You don't have to do that anymore. Stop apologizing unless you mean it. Because what a narcissist hears when you apologize is, oh, yep, I was right all along. Yep, you were wrong. Thanks for acknowledging that, even when half the time they don't accept your apology anyway. Apologizing to a narcissist in order to get them to back down or to reason with them, a waste of your energy and your time. Don't bother. It will backfire. The next thing you have to do is accept who they are, accept the narcissist's limitations. So whenever you have to deal with them, understand what they cannot do. That is, they cannot be real or empathetic or offer any concern for your actual well-being or anything like that. Know what it is that you have to deal with when you're dealing with them, whatever your outcome needs to be. Don't let them convince you otherwise. If you need something, you need them to sign a paper, or you need them to take your kid to the doctor, or whatever it is, go in and understand that's what you're going in for. That's the goal that you have to accomplish. Don't let them make excuses. Don't fall into your old habits of kind of coddling them or bending beyond your comfort level just to reach a compromise or to get where you're trying to go. Because if you do that, it will just keep going forever and ever. Since you're stuck dealing with this person for whatever reason, yes, you do have to deal with their shortcomings, but no, you don't have to let them cross your boundaries. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do for that person unless you're legally required to do so. Believe me, I know all of this is easier said than done, but sometimes it helps to hear it. And like I tell you all the time, the final thing to remember here is that no matter what, you definitely will not change the narcissist, so just accept that that's the truth. If by some miracle the narcissist manages to change and become a whole different person, call me, let me know, I'm interested. But I've never seen it happen. Not for long anyway. I've definitely seen narcissists exhibit behavior changes temporarily in an effort to keep a supply around or prevent one from leaving, but I've never seen any long-term, real, deep-seated change. There's a reason for that. So let's talk about a few different phrases that you can use to actually neutralize a narcissist or shut a narcissist down. Remember, you're going to have to be strong here and willing to stand your ground, but these phrases or some version of them will work or help to neutralize the narcissist or stop them in their tracks during their attempts at manipulation. Number 1, I'm not sure about that. Can you prove it? Or, I don't believe you. If you make a point of questioning what a narcissist is saying, especially when you're pretty sure they're full of it, they will learn quickly that you're not someone they can tell stories and lies to. That will shut them down. If that doesn't work, ask for their source. Number 2, remind the narcissist that they're not better than anyone else and no one's better than them. It might slow them down a little bit. The fact of the matter is narcissists don't like to believe that anyone is as good as them and certainly not better. But it helps to kind of remind them that, hey, you know what, even though maybe you're more skilled than some people in certain areas or more attractive or whatever, you're not better than anyone. The fact is that it's normal and it's acceptable for humans to be really good at some stuff and not good at other stuff. That's how human nature works. Everybody has their areas of genius. But reminding a narcissist of this doesn't usually go well. But it certainly will kind of disarm them and surprise them, especially if you've never said anything like that before. Narcissists are always trying to make people think they're smarter or better or think more intelligently or in some way superior to other people. Interestingly enough, I've actually had more than one narcissist say to me, well, I am better than other people. That's kind of funny if you think about it. And a little sad. Number 3, I am not afraid of you. Telling a narcissist that you're not afraid of them will surprise them, slow them down, and neutralize them in many cases. See, narcissists are deeply insecure, even though you can't usually see that on the outside unless you're dealing with a covert narcissist. But what a narcissist wants is for you to be as or more insecure as them, because then they can kind of control you a little better. They can use your weaknesses against you in order to keep you in check. And they can talk about all the things that you're insecure about to make you feel bad about yourself and inferior to them. But refusing to accept that, refusing to accept those attacks and those beatdowns, as it were, it'll show them that you're not scared, that you're not bothered by them, that they're not getting to you. They don't know how to handle you if they can't intimidate you. And that, my friend, is yet another way that you can neutralize them and kind of stop them in their tracks, kind of shut them down. Number 4, Don't change the subject. Why would you tell a narcissist to not change the subject? Well, because in many cases, the first thing a narcissist does when they're found out, when they're caught doing something they're not supposed to do, is they jump down your throat, they deflect. They might do this in a simple way. Like, for example, maybe you come home and you say, hey, did you take all the rest of the money out of the bank account? And then they, maybe admit it or not. And then suddenly they're very concerned about why the trash hasn't been taken out in 2 days. And they're freaking out because that's your job and you should have taken out the trash. And what's wrong with you anyway? Eventually, you end up apologizing to them and you find yourself wishing you didn't even ask about the bank account money. Well, now's the time to stop that. If you want to shut down the narcissist, refuse to change the subject. So, for example, if you're asking about the money, why did you take all the money out of the bank account? What did you do with the money? Then when they start the trash thing, you say, no, don't change the subject here. Why did you take the money? And refuse to let go. That will disarm them and shut them down very quickly. They might walk away from you, and if you ask me, that's not such a bad thing, but be prepared. Number 5, you can say the magic word to neutralize a narcissist, and that is nope or no, nuh-uh, no way, can't do it, not gonna work for me, not gonna do it, no, can't happen, not gonna hear it, not gonna see it, whatever. You already know that the narcissist always wants you to say yes to them for everything. The narcissist never wants to hear the word no. They always want you to say yes. Yes, I will accept your psychological abuse. Yes, I will put up with all the crap you throw my way. Sure, I don't mind at all if you act like an entitled jerk for the rest of my life. By all means. They also want you to think exactly like they think. See, because on some level, having you think what they think and agree with everything they ask you for, well, that's another way they control you. That makes them think they have power over you and everybody else. But when you say no to a narcissist, it completely neutralizes them. If you refuse to agree with them, you pull yourself back from their thoughts and ideas and, develop some of your own. Well, it not only takes away from the image in the narcissist's mind that they have of us, or the box they've drawn for us. We kind of step outside that box, but it will cause them to get very angry. And that's, of course, because they actually believe in that moment that you are ignorant and you can't possibly see reality for what it is. The only problem there, of course, is that reality for a narcissist is, well, it's a lot different than it is for everyone else. Narcissists kind of live in their own little fantasy world. Bottom line, a narcissist wants to get away with anything they can. They want to control you and manipulate you at all costs. If they know they're wrong, they're going to try to change the subject. They're going to try to flip things around and make it your fault. They don't want to let you know that you're right, ever. Narcissists are very skilled manipulators, and they aren't worth your energy or your time. But I know, we can't always just walk right away. In the meantime, try the tips I gave you today. Train yourself to recognize when a narcissist is playing games with you, manipulating you or trying to confuse you. Stay focused on what matters. Stay focused on what you can control. Remember that you deserve so much better than this. Don't let the narcissist manipulate you. When the narcissist begins to recognize that they can't manipulate you anymore, they will start to lose interest in you over time, maybe fast. Be prepared for that. Know what's going to come next. Neutralizing a narcissist is not easy. It requires a lot of discomfort at first, and it requires you to be really, really strong. But if you take the time and the focus to learn how to do it, they will no longer be able to manipulate you. Narcissists don't love themselves, and they don't love you, and they will do whatever they can to sort of take you down with them in their own little fiery HE double hockey sticks. Don't give the narcissist the pleasure of willingly stepping into that trap anymore. Remember, you're important, you matter, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your ideas are real and valid and worth having. You are worth loving. Don't allow a narcissist to convince you otherwise. Please don't forget.
All right, now this brings me to the question of the day. And the question of the day is, have you struggled with a narcissist who has tried to manipulate you or gaslight you or make you feel otherwise not good enough? And if so, have you tried any of the tactics in this video today? If you have, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't, what worked for you, or will you give these ideas a try? Share your thoughts, share your ideas, share your experiences in the comment section below, and let's talk about it. As always, thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life, and hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. Now, before I go, make sure you take a look at the videos I'm going to leave for you right there and right there. And while you're here, hit the subscribe button right over there so we can stay connected and continue on this healing journey together. I'll see you soon.